Frankly, I'm not happy about the state of Warframe. I'm not happy about Warframe's current direction and where it's at. I'm sick of doing weekly resets, and I'm disappointed the game has gone this direction. Feels like the game was forced to make you engaged in it every week as opposed to being motivated to play it. Feels like a chore. Feels like I'm keeping up with the Joneses to get my Archon shards every week. I have a lot of hours in this game, and what made me fall in love with it, and I still do love it, is the freedom to play it how you want to play it, how often you want to play it, and when you want to play it. And I feel like we are missing that now with having weekly resets. I feel punished for skipping a week, missing out on rewards for not doing a weekly reset, but I feel exhausted doing them every week. I would much rather play this game when motivated, as opposed to playing it when DE says I can, when weekly resets have reset, when they're up. I don't want to be forced to play the game. I want to play it on my own terms. And this rant isn't even about me, really. I mean, I don't work a typical 9 to 5. I can play this game as much or as little as I so choose. This is not for me. This is for that dad. This is for that parent who, has 37 illegitimate children, doesn't have the time to play Warframe weekly resets, and then eventually falls behind in getting their Archon shards or their Formas or their adapters or whatever the hell it is. It's for them. Okay? They don't have time to do weekly resets, plus make builds for every weapon and frame and all this other stuff. Can't keep up with it. In the beginning, right, after the new war, we came off of the hype of the new war update, and that is when we got our introduction to our first weekly reset, like our first major weekly reset. You could argue that syndicates had resets and things like that, but as far as weekly resets, the first thing was the Archon hunt and Call's weekly mission. It was cool, right? Because when you did an Archon hunt, you got an Archon shard, and then you could get a chance to get a Tau Forged Archon shard. That was really cool. Whoa. Okay, and then we also had Call. Oh, lovely Call. The community, Warframe community, loves Call. I don't know why, because playing his missions suck. I don't want to play as a regular Grineer guy when I've spent thousands of hours making builds and things and weapons the best that I can make them, just to be stuck playing a guy who has to stealth around and sucks ass. But it was different. It was a change of pace. It was fresh. It was unique. Until you did it for the 37th time in a week. Consecutively. It was annoying. It got boring. It got real boring, real fast. Then we had the Deviri. That was also a very exciting update at first. And then we had the circuit rewards, getting some incarnate adapters, making old weapons fresh and new by having incarnate forms. And that was cool, but that was another weekly thing. You had to do it every week in order to get it. It was a long grind, and then it reset the next week until you eventually got all of them, and then you didn't have to do it again, but that took a very long time. I think enough people got sick and tired of doing Call's weekly mission, and then we had the Murmur, the Whisper in the Walls update, and then we got Elite Deep Archimedea, or Deep Archimedea, replacing Call's mission. That was nice, because we were all sick of doing Call at that point. I know I was. Maybe other people weren't, but I was really sick of it. So then we had Elite Deep Archimedea. And it was interesting, right? Not only was the circuit interesting, but also Elite Deep was interesting because this was giving you a limited amount of choices of frames and weapons and equipment you could use, right? And that was cool for someone like me who likes my certain frames, likes my certain weapons, and kind of gets narrow-minded in choosing my loadouts. So it kind of forced you to check out different weapons and frames that you may not typically use. And that was cool for a while. At least in the circuit, they gave you a default mod loadout. So if you didn't have a build for that particular frame or weapon, you could use what they gave you. And the circuit isn't particularly hard. There was a lot of bugs in the beginning, but it wasn't very hard. And then even on Steel Path, it's still not even that hard, because at least they're giving you a default mod list and loadout. You could get by. But within Elite Deep Archimedian, you have these limited choices of frames and weapons, and if you didn't spend the time making builds for every single frame in the game, every single weapon in the game, you're kind of shit out of luck. You're kind of forced to make some poor choices, or make the best choices you could make, and then if you didn't have anything good, then you're being forced to be carried by a bunch of other friends or pug groups. And it feels bad. You don't want to be the lowest denominator. You don't want to be the lowest guy in the totem pole. You don't want to be sitting there just getting carried. That feels bad. That sucks. It's annoying. But it was exciting and fresh for what it was. A new hard, challenging mode that could be, I don't know, compared to the mythic raiding or mythic dungeons in a game like World of Warcraft. It was comparable to something like that. A lot of people play Warframe, myself included, to have a power fantasy, to kill things and not really bat an eye on whether or not you're gonna die or not. And a lot of people complained for a long time. I wish the game was more challenging or had more challenging modes. So, the result was Elite Deep Archimedian. A couple patches later, one update later, 1999, we had Temporal Archimedian, which was once again another weekly reset. So now let's break this down. We don't have Call's mission anymore. If you've already gotten all of Call's rewards, you've gotten the frame from Call, then you're done with Call. But if you're not, then this is this is the full list of your weekly loadout every week. Okay? You got the Archon Hunt. You got Elite Deep Archimedian, Temporal Archimedian, Call's mission, Circuit rewards, Clem's weekly mission, Nightwave, and Maru's Ayatan treasure, which it doesn't take that long. But there's probably more weeklies that I'm forgetting. But for that frickin' parent out there who's got 37 illegitimate children, you think he's gonna make time to do all those weeklies? No, he's probably gonna skip a week. And then he's missing out on all the nice sought-after rewards. And that feels bad. That feels like bullshit. It's stupid to me because in the past, before the new war, before these weekly resets started becoming a thing, the big appeal of Warframe was that you could play it at your own pace. You could play it at your own leisure time. Sure, you could fall behind, but you could catch up. For example, when all the open world areas started coming out, so you got Cetus, the Plains of Eidolon, you got Fortuna, the Cambion Drift, Deimos, all that stuff, even the Zeraman syndicates, even the 1999 syndicates. If you weren't ready to go and do that content right when the update came out, you could eventually do it and catch up with the rest of the Warframe community. And that's not the case with weekly resets. If you miss a week, fuck you, alright? And not only this, but these Elite Deep Archimedian and Temporal Archimedian are constantly having bugs. They're constantly being messed up. After a new update, it seems like it's consistent that there's something wrong with it. So then, you get ready on weekly reset day with your friends, getting ready to go into a mission, and oh, you can't do it. This murmur fight's taking 40 minutes to do. Oh, this defense objective is broken for some reason. It's bullshit. It's annoying. I don't want to do it. It's a chore. Now, what is the solution, though? Well, the obvious one, right, is like, if you're not enjoying it, don't play it. Yeah, right. Okay, whatever. Can we not do that argument? Because that's a stupid argument. I want to play the game. I like the game. I just don't want to do weekly shit. If I wanted to do weekly stuff, I'd play World of Warcraft. If I wanted to deal with modifiers and all these other hard, challenging things, I'd play World of Warcraft. I play a different game. I don't play Warframe to have a challenge. I think that is a stupid argument, and people wanting that in this game, that should be an optional thing, not something that's forced on the rest of the Warframe community. Once you get to a certain mastery rank in this game, you're pretty much waiting for the next update, for the new content. So what is the thing to keep you going and playing this game? Well, it's those weekly resets. But it's not fun. It feels like a chore. I feel like the end game thing for Warframe, there is no end game. And they're trying to make one through these weekly resets, and it just feels like a chore. Endgame in Warframe is fashion frame. It's farming out those mods that you might be missing. It's 100%ing getting all the different cosmetics and little decorations and things like that. It's spending hours in the simulacrum making weapons and builds for different frames and synergies between your pet and your weapons and your frame. It's not this weekly reset bullshit, because it's not fun. It's a chore. It feels like I'm obligated to play the game every week as opposed to playing it when I enjoy it. So what is the solution? Maybe just take a break. Maybe just stop. And here's the other thing. I mean, yeah, you could do that. You could take a break. You could take a break. The nice thing about this weekly resets, even though this could nullify the whole thing, this would make this whole argument stupid, right? The nice thing about these weekly resets and the rewards that you get from them is they're not game breaking. You don't need them. You don't need them to enjoy the game. You don't need them to even do 99.9% of the content. You don't need any of that stuff. It's min-maxing stuff that you're going after. But I still think that it's annoying that Warframe's endgame is designed around this weekly reset stuff. It's what keeps you playing the game. It's what they're doing to incentivize you to keep playing the game. It just feels lazy to me. It feels lazy, it feels boring, and it feels like MMO time-grabbing bullshit. It wasn't like this before the new war, in my opinion. If I wasn't ready to do some syndicate, I could do it eventually and catch up. You know, I'm okay with daily resets because at least you can do them each day, and if you miss a day, it doesn't matter. And at least there's an end point. There's not an end point with weekly resets. I just wish that we had more content at this point as a veteran, and for that dad or parent with illegitimate children, that we had more content to play at our own pace. Weekly resets should be like limited to, I don't know, standing points, or allowing you to get all the rewards eventually from it instead of feeling like you're missing out. Yeah. So I don't know what else the solution could be. I mean, it is a free-to-play game. It is an MMO. There has to be something incentivizing you to keep coming back to it. But it feels lazy. It feels like I'm playing... It feels like I'm back at playing World of Warcraft and doing a raid every week. And I don't like the obligation of that. There's a reason I quit playing that game. I don't want to do a raid every week. I don't want to do weekly resets. So maybe the solution is just stop playing. But I don't want to do that. I like the game. And I like Digital Extremes. I just don't like where it is now. So, I don't know, you can tell me I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm an idiot, you can tell me to go fuck myself, you could say, hey, you look like fuck your face, you look like Elon Musk or something. I don't know, you could, whatever. Disagree with me, agree with me. Hopefully you can see where the frustration comes from. Okay? I have the leisure to get done with weekly resets every week, but it feels like a chore, and I can't imagine the guy or person who really does want to play Warframe every week, but they don't. They can't. And there's too much to keep up with. Especially if you haven't gotten all of those circuit incarnate adapters and you're trying to get all of them, it's going to take a long time, plus all those other weekly things that you got to do. I mean, I guess it's nice once you get all the incarnate adapters, that's one of the weekly things done. If you got all of Call's mission rewards, that's done. You know, then you really are just doing Archon Hunt, Elite Deep, and Temporal, and I guess Nightwave would be the other weekly stuff. But still, that's like, feels like a chore. It's like, oh, I gotta make sure I do that this week. Oh no, I didn't do it this week. Oh no. I guess you're not missing out on much, but it still feels bad. It's like, fuck, I missed it. Shit. God damn it. I don't know. So go ahead and fucking smash that like button, fucking leave a comment, bro, and fucking, dude, you know, fucking subscribe, fucking sexually harass that subscribe button and like and comment and tell me I'm a fucking idiot, dude. Good night.